Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina wa Maulana Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wa sallim. With the continuation of SkillEarn series, Research Skill 7, today we are going to discuss one of the most important topic, that is literature review. This is Rana Tanvir Hussain. Remember, when you are going to start the research, whatever the topic you are interested in, you have to conduct literature review. Literature review is the backbone of the whole research process. In the information we are dealing with, that information can be of two types. One is the secondary, another one is the primary. If the information already exists somewhere in any database, that is a secondary information. And if we make a tool like questionnaires and interviews and then collect the information, that information is a primary, right? So in the literature review, we basically use secondary information, and using secondary data, whether it is a published or unpublished work, we about the topic of the research, we do the literature review. So in previous studies, we have shortlisted our topic, and about that topic, we conduct a literature review. We download relevant material and study the material and then summarize the material. Now, the literature review basically, remember, make our problem statement more precise and clear. Literature review makes our study, our research more testable and replicable, reusable. Literature review reduces the risk of reinventing the wheel. Like whether we are going to study a different topic, different area of the same topic, or we are going to lose our time and the money while conducting the study on the same topic. So literature review will help. It confirms that problem is perceived as relevant, significant. So how much our problem is relevant and significant, literature review respond. No important variable is overlooked. So literature review will basically help us to identify the important variable. How hypotheses are generated for the testing process. So literature review help us. Now the sources. Literature review basically, remember, we conduct literature review by looking at the books, textbooks which are already published, by downloading the research articles from the academic and professional journals, by reading the research projects and theses, by reading the conference proceedings, unpublished manuscripts available somewhere in the database or in the departments in any form, reports of government departments and corporations available online or in the physical form, newspapers, and all the internet sources. So to conduct the literature review, we have to download the relevant material about our topic using these sources of the data, right? For example, most of the time, researcher who are going to write a research article or the thesis to comply their degree, they use academic and professional journals, right? So these are the sources of the literature, and in a literature review, there are some electronic journals available in which we find various hundreds and hundreds journals where researchers publish their research articles. So we can download and access the relevant material by using the electronic journals. There are some databases which give us the full access for the relevant material in full form. There are some bibliographic databases which give only references and citations about the article about the books relevant to our topic. And there are some databases which give us the summary of the articles or the books in which we are interested. So summarized databases are available. And important one, how can we review the relevance of the literature? When you have downloaded an article, read the title of the article, read the summary or the abstract of the article given on the front page, and then read the first chapter of the article. In this way, you will come to know whether the downloaded article or the material is relevant to you or not. And every every article to be published in the journal have to follow a certain formatting and referencing style. And one of these is APA style. So check whether the author of that article have followed any referencing style or not. And then check whether the article published in that journal is peer reviewed or not. Right? This is very important. So every journal basically have a board which review the published or to be published article, and then give the suggestions for the improvement of that publishable material. And then you also need to check the ranking of the journal. One of the ranking style is impact factor, right? The higher impact factor the journal has, the more it is basically ranked in the research area. Or you can see the ABDC ranking of the journal. You can see the other ranking criteria like in Pakistan we have a HJRS established by the HEC, Higher Education Commission of Pakistan. So you can check the ranking of the journal to see the relevance and the goodness of the literature. And after the evaluation, you need to document your material. How can you it? Remember, the reader of your literature understand your uh, knowledge. So he will understand after reading your uh, published material that the author of this article is whether knowledgeable or not. And the second thing is you can write literature in a chronological order. In a historical way, either descending or ascending order, or you can write the literature in causal relations. Causal relation means if A variable affect the B, and the literature basically is available about this relationship, so you describe the literature relevant to this relationship. So you conduct your literature review with respect to the causal relationships of the research framework of the study. And based upon the literature, you draw your theoretical framework. So you can easily structure your research framework based upon the literature. And remember, you have to learn one of these: referencing style, APA style, Chicago Manual of the Stylothropian Manual for the writers. To like these are the referencing styles in organizations, firms, universities, the journals. They identify, they mention which of these styles they follow in their manuals. One of the most important thing is the ethical issue. The ethical issue is basically is to take care whether the researcher who is going to conduct the research is misrepresenting the work of other authors or not, is misquoting their viewpoints, their ideas, their findings, right? So this is the ethical issue. And the second one is the plagiarized work. So use of the plagiarized work is considered fraud in the research area. So avoid it basically. There are softwares available which can easily detect the similarity of your work with the other studies. So this is the important one. So always avoid ethical issues because the risk of your degree is basically involved in it. The risk of the your repo is involved in it. Now, the example of the literature review, one of the simplest example, if you have downloaded an article of these authors, you have read the article, and after reading the article, you can summarize this article in this way by citing the author and then year of publication and authors. So this is the citation, and after citing the author and the year of the article, you summarize the content of the article. In content, you basically write the first of all aim of the article, second a sentence about the methodology of the article, and third, which is the most important one, that is the finding or the crux of that article relevant to your topic. Remember, relevant to your topic. So in these three sentences, you can summarize an article. And after the summary, at the end of your document, you generate a chapter which is called references and then give the references. So for the beginners who download the article and they face difficulty while summarizing the article, they should read the article, okay, as suggested by their supervisors and the teachers. And from the reading of the article, they should note at least three things. One is the objectives of that article. Second one is the methodology of that article. And third one is the finding of that article, right? So in this way, you can summarize the article. Mm. Another example of the literature review, the topic is given, resource-based view and sustained competitive advantage on which you have conducted this literature review. You can see first sentence is about resource-based theory. This is a theory. Remember, when you read the literature also give you idea about the relevant theories. So resource-based view is the outcome of the exertions of numerous researchers. So after quoting this sentence, a generalized sentence about the topic, then you have mentioned a lot of citations, more than one citations, right? So if there are more than one citations, you can describe them in this way. Another sentence, Barney 1991 is largely accredited as the primary scholar to formalize. So here you can say only the outcome of these studies. In the previous slide, summary of the literature of an article was given for the beginners. But if you're going to write an article, you basically mention a sentence and then give all the relevant citations about that sentence. So here you basically write your literature with respect to the relationship, with respect to the outcome of the studies, right? So you only give the outcome, the crux of those outcomes, and then give the references of that studies. So in this way, you can complete your. Generally, when we write the chapter of literature review, we basically mention two things. So before I discuss this slide, I give you the crux of the matter. When you write the chapter of your literature review, basically have to narrate the relevant theories of your topic. And after giving the theoretical framework, you basically narrate the relevant literature. You give the content literature review of your study, right? So while conducting the literature review, you have to give lot of citations, the hundreds and hundreds citations and their relevant references. Remember, citation is the short reference. And a reference means a complete information about that study. In citation, we narrate only author and the year of publication. But in references, we give all the relevant information, authors, years, the topic, and the name of the journal, the volume or issue number of the journal, each and everything, references. So to do this citation and references, we can do it manually, which is a very hectic work nowadays. Like if you have to cite more than 100 citations and references and you do it manually, it will take a lot of time. So you can use a software like Mendeley and EndNote to save your time. Nowadays, researchers basically use Mendeley, EndNote, and Zotero. Lot of citing softwares are available. So in this way, you can save lot of time uh, and write your literature review chapter in a time. So this was all about the uh, content part of the literature, in which I hope you have learned what is literature review and how can we conduct the literature. In coming video, we will learn how to cite and referring using the Mendeley or manually. I will try to describe the manual and the. Thank you so much. May Allah Pak bless you.